Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the crumpiest show in social media history. I want to welcome you, the true black media man. It's the War Zone. I got my co-host, Demetra K. Donovan Sadiq is on the way. And I am the 5-star general. Tonight, man, it's simple. Why are we fraternizing with the enemy? Let's talk about it. Say, man, I want to say top of the evening to all of y'all, man. And finally, Demetra, I get an opportunity to sit in the room and do it the way we supposed to do it. So just want to let all y'all know, if it wasn't for y'all, we wouldn't be here. So we definitely appreciate you guys tuning in. What's going on later?
Everything is going on. So much to talk about, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. I'll get a flow to you, let you crank it up, and we'll get into it, because I mean I've seen some things today that just really got up under my skin.
All right. And I don't know why I'm having some feedback. Maybe if you put it on mute, it'll stop.
Hold on, let me try.
Okay. Hello? Oh, much better. Yes. All right. So as I said, there's so many things to talk about. Obviously, want to speak to Gary about what's been going on now. The weather is bad, which is probably a Hail Mary for the authorities out there in Minnesota or Minneapolis, wherever it's raining, because it kind of slows people down a little bit. But before I came on here, I learned that the state of Minnesota is actually going to sue the police department of Minneapolis due to the police misconduct and brutality that's gone on. They actually want to go back 10 years to see exactly what's going on. Now, we know for sure there's been some misconduct with at least one of their officers, Derek Chauvin, because he's been on the force, 17 to 19 years, and have had 18 allegations of police brutality against him, 3 shootings and 1 murder. So we know there's something right there. Along with the other cop, the Asian cop that was standing next to him, he's also had some things in his jacket, if you will, of police misconduct. And so it's actually the Department of Human Rights. Their Department of Human Rights are going after the records of the police department to see exactly what's going on, and they are looking to sue them. And so also in police accountability news, Atlanta, the mayor of Atlanta, Keisha Lance Bottoms, have actually charged 6 officers. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see. There was 2 college students who just happened to be driving down the street during all the chaos, protests, and the rioting. And 6 officers, well, it looked like it was a little bit more of them, but 6 officers at least, charged the car, flattened their tires, bust their windows, maced them, tased them, and the whole 9. And they were just really innocent bystanders. And so the video got to the mayor, and she fired 2 of them initially, and then ended up charging all 6 of them with assault and battery and things like that. So I don't know if things are changing. Hopefully so. But that leads us to our topic of discussion. We actually have a few topics of discussion, but one of the topics, and we're going to lead with this, is we're starting to see this, the police officers join the protest, if you will. We're seeing a lot of police officers and police chiefs, and even the National Guard has joined the protesters in kneeling, and you've seen a lot of the protesters hugging and crying with the police officers and the National Guards. And so the question that we are going to discuss for the next couple of minutes is, are the police officers and, the law enforcement, are they hijacking the movement, or are they actually joining it out of sincerity? And so I'll go ahead and give you the floor, Gary.
They're actually faking. They got the eyes of the world on them. This looks great to people that really don't have a clue what these people are doing. It turned my stomach today when I'm looking at, I'm looking at hardcore gangsters on the stage at the rally in Houston, knowing damn well I done seen these people throw you up against the wall like a sucker. And now you riding with the enemy? Let me get it to you straight. Ain't no 4-5 days of what we going through gonna make them evil ass cops change who they really are. The state of the state level of any state, you ain't got to go through all them headaches of trying to investigate. You know what these people do on a daily basis. You know what these people do on a daily basis. And I'm looking at how they operate. I deal with the cops. HPD, Harris County. You didn't give a damn about black people before George Floyd died. You didn't give a damn. You act like you give a damn. You do that much to make it look like you give a damn. But you didn't care nothing about the George Floyds. You didn't care. Dude, I'm there. I see it every day. If you care about what your cops do, won't you do something with Gerald Goins? He killed 2 innocent people. If you care about fixing the relationships between officers and the community, why don't you do something about these rogue white cops at night patrolling these black neighborhoods? If you want to do something about these cops, especially in Houston, say, man, release the cam footage from all the shootings you done had in the last 7 weeks. Don't come here because you got to bury a man that you don't know a damn thing about. Get on the stage with all you little fake politicians that at the end of the day, you care so much about black people. Why the hell you won't fund my program? You fund Bishop James Dixon and his foolishness. Why you won't fund my program? Designed to stop gun violence. The only proposal that was accepted and endorsed by the Gun Violence Commission. Now all of a sudden you care about your relationship with the community. But you have proven time and time again that you will gun down a white boy, a Latino, and a black, hunt us down like dogs and never think twice.
So basically, it's safe to say that this is all for show. It's smoke and mirrors, because as I was watching a lot of the coverage with the police officers kneeling and, all of that, in my mind, I thought, well, maybe they feel like there's nothing really they can do. They're outnumbered. And so maybe it's a strategy. I don't know. Maybe I'm just guessing. Maybe it's a strategy of theirs to let's kneel, because the police out here were also kneeling too. Maybe it's a strategy of theirs. Let's kneel with them, to get them to heal a little bit and to calm down. And because we've actually seen, I don't know if you've seen it, but you've actually seen a lot of people kind of falling for it. Oh, they're trying.
They typical black people. They fall for it. They've been falling for it for 463 years.
Somehow you read my mind, because that's what I got out of it too. Now that all of a sudden you see some black people who are starting to feel sorry for them. Oh, they're trying. It's not all cops aren't bad.
We are soft as a box of booty. We fall for everything that come down the pike. You know why? Because we want to be politically correct with these people. How in the hell do you get in the bed with the enemy? The reason that you even marching is because they murdered that boy, man. And this has been going on all over the country. And now it's two sets of people that I know exist. Niggas and nuggers. See, niggas ain't falling for it right now. We ain't gonna fall for it at all. Now, you highly intelligent black folk, don't worry about who I'm talking about right now. Let it roll off you like water. I represent the niggas in the hood. Now, the niggas, every time they smile at you, you get to laughing. Every time they tell you something, you believe it. Because you really want it to. You really think this is going to be something big. Why is Acevedo in the front of the damn parade? Didn't you just kill a gospel singer? Didn't your people just kill a gospel singer? And all y'all on Facebook, he's not that guy. Didn't you just do that for that dude? Didn't they just shoot the Latino brother on his knees like a dog? Why is this man leading our parade? I ain't falling for it. See, because y'all get to talk that shit on Facebook. You get to sit behind these keyboards and play your games. I got to go in there and deal with these clowns on the political side. And when I say they can't seem to find no funding to help nobody in the neighborhood, when we continuously ask them not to put those white guys in our neighborhoods at night. Joe Young played at Yates. I had to call Finna on that one. Last year, Joe Young come home, go visit his grandma in Sunnyside. Well, Joe is a professional basketball player at the time. Plays for the Indiana Pacers. I look on Facebook, you got my man's jammed up by Yellowstone Park because he in a Porsche. He make that kind of money, man. And they handled him bad. But I know they wish they didn't, and once I got wind of it. See, that's the thing. Y'all keep falling for that bullshit with them people, man. Why are we fraternizing with the enemy?
And I agree with you. Playing kumbaya with the police officers will make all of this in vain, because it'll give off the false perception that all we need to do is, do a little hugging and kissing and everybody getting on their knees for a minute, then everything will go away. It won't go away. I mean, we haven't gotten to this point because all it takes is, just a little love and care. I mean, because the truth of the matter is, what's going on with the police departments, that's not on us as Black people or people who are being brutalized by them. That's not our job. As who was it? Common, I think, said once, it's not our job to extend the olive branch of love to them. That's not something that we need to do. It's up to them to stop killing Black people. But I agree with you. It's going to give the false perception that traditionally that's all it has taken for the Black community. I mean, we've seen time, and even George Floyd, some of George Floyd's family are saying, well, we forgive him. He wouldn't want this. He wouldn't, so it's like
they gonna, you know what? I don't give a damn if nobody get mad. They gonna say whatever the hell Benjamin Crumpton told them to say. At this point, let's just keep it 100. You gonna say whatever Benjamin Crump told you to say, because this is a slam dunk open and shut case. But when he finished with you, you ain't gonna have no goddamn money.
And I think that is a telltale sign, especially with your Lee Merritts and your Ben Crumps. It seems like most families who are done dirty by the police, they somehow get in front of the podium and, give this big forgiveness speech, God would, and we are Christians and we need to go ahead and forgive. And so I'm wondering too, if that's some of the talking, some of their strategy, because as you said, they get a big giant kickback from a lot of these lawsuits. And so they're going to get paid anyway. And so who knows, maybe they are, I'm not saying they are, but maybe they are in bed with the opposition, because it seems like all of their families get up and forgive when most people are looking like, wait a minute, how in the world? Especially with the Amber Geiger case, this woman went into your son's brother's apartment and he was doing absolutely nothing wrong and murdered him in cold blood, and you forgive her?
Let me tell you something. Benjamin Crump, when the last time Benjamin Crump won a case? I'm just asking because I ain't never heard nothing.
That's a good question.
But that's not what I'm talking about right now. What I'm talking about is if you're in the city of Houston and you think it's all gravy, go ride through River Oaks right now. What you waiting on? The sun almost going down. It's almost dark. Go ride through River Oaks and see how much them cops love you. At the end of the day, man, they are who they are, man. They are who they are. But I don't understand how people keep saying all this rioting and looting is going, that's making his death be in vain. You sure about that? I think kicking it with the people that killed him would make his death be in vain. That's what I think.
I mean,
ain't no way in hell if she could do it all over again. I bet you Eve wouldn't kick it with the snake.
Right. I would hope she would. But yeah, I mean, it just comes a point in time to where, and I think we are at that point in time where a lot of people have said enough. And I would say it's not just Black people, but a lot of other people are having their eyes forced open and having to come to terms that, there is some issues going on with police brutality. We need to stop, and I'm thinking of in terms of other people, we need to stop saying, well, we don't know what happened before the tape started rolling. Clearly, there's an issue, and a lot of people are just having to embrace it and say, you know what? We too have to do something. But I agree with you. I don't think we should get in bed with the police officers because they know what they've been doing. If it didn't work for Kaepernick, why is it working for you? If it didn't work for him taking a knee, why are you taking one?
8 years ago when I started this, people thought I was crazy by the way I would speak and the way I would do some things. Look like I'm the only sane nigga in the room now. What it feel like to be me? But see, the difference between me and y'all is I had a strategy from the gate. I knew exactly what I was doing. I knew exactly what I wanted, and I normally get exactly what I want. So if we kissing up with the cops, what I feel like today, all this kissing up with the cops, it felt like when Ike bust Tina in the mouth and bought her a gift. That's what it felt like to me. Oh, well, we just killed this Black dude. Look, we're going to work on this. You got all these police officers in front of these cameras that have political aspirations. And they're looking to go somewhere else when they come out their positions. I don't respect it. And I have every right not to respect it. Because I work with the Houston Police Department every day. Don't tell me I don't know a snake when I see one. Right now, we sit here talking, and you got them people surrounded. You got peaceful protesters surrounded, right? Hold on, I'm picking up my phone. Because y'all know me. So this is your police department, and I'm sending you a text. The people by the George R. Brown, call your people off. Them people peacefully protesting. You going too far, dog. Ain't these the same motherfuckers you were kissing and hugging an hour ago? Ain't these the same ones y'all was kissing and hugging an hour ago? Now they pepper spraying people that ain't doing nothing. Y'all gonna be dead. They gonna kill y'all too. Keep believing that foolishness, man. Say, I don't like it. And today, was that a rally? Or was that the Democratic National Convention? Why we up there talking politics? Why we up there acting like we gonna go and we gonna fight to get this? You ain't gonna do shit. You ain't been doing shit. You ain't did shit, and you ain't gonna do shit. Because if it was that easy, you'd have did it years ago.
So speaking of which, the Democratic convention, did you get a chance to catch Joe Biden's speech?
forget Joe Biden?
I guess, you know, I didn't like it. I don't even know. I mean, obviously he was pandering and all of that, but he still never said anything that was going to help Black people. Yeah, he mentioned some police brutality and blah, 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 and things need to change.
Why is Joe Biden speaking at Floyd George's funeral?
Well, that's the next topic we're going to get into.
I'm just saying, they using all this here as propaganda. And whatever he talked about today, Joe Biden is full of it. He ain't gonna do a smidget. He ain't gonna do nothing for us. We ain't getting nothing out the deal. It is what it is. I don't need to listen to him because I don't want to hear nothing he got to say.
Well, to your point, you said that he would be, you talked earlier, and you said that he would be at the funeral, and it kind of pissed you off to say the least, because it's like, obviously with all the COVID, am I getting some feedback with all the COVID and everything going on, and, you know, so many people wanting to attend, you're going to have all these dignitaries there, like Joe Biden, and, you know, I heard Al Sharpton is going to do the eulogy. I don't know how true that is, but there's so many people who are coming for photo ops, if you will. But to your earlier point, what about the people who really knew him? Like the people in his neighborhoods that won't be able to go and pay their last respects because these people who knew nothing about him, who are only looking for a political grab, if you will, they're going to take up a seat that somebody who truly knew him could have had. So
I have a major problem with that. I have a serious problem with that. Because from what I understand, is only going to be at the service, the actual funeral, 125 people. And I can guarantee you that the 125 going to be saturated with some politicians that could have changed legislation a long time ago. And this youngster probably wouldn't even be dead. I got a problem with that, man. I got a problem with it. And I'm telling y'all, when I die, y'all finna hear me say it. I only kick it with certain politicians. You understand what I'm saying? My people already know. It ain't but 3 of them can speak at my funeral. I don't want your flags, your proclamations. If you didn't give me my flowers before I died, I don't want nothing from you while I'm laying in that casket. And I feel that it's horrible for people when these situations go on, that you allow these politicians to come through and hijack these services, because there are thousands of people right there in Third Ward, Texas, that deserve to sit in that church, man. They deserve to sit in there. And I'd be damned if I don't call you out on it. Whoever let that go on, you full of it, bruh.
Well, from the comments that I was just reading, it sounds like the family signed off on it. Sounds like they were okay with what's going on here. But
they signed off on anything that's going on right now the day they signed the contract with Crump.
Which is really too bad. And I was actually speaking to Al earlier, and he was saying or wondering, is this actually going to sway this being Joe Biden being there? And I guess he's going to speak. I don't know what he's going to do. But is it actually going to sway Black voters more so into voting for him? And my opinion is, I don't think so. I think the people who are going to vote for him have already made up their mind. I don't see how this sways more people to vote for him. But then again, I've been wrong before.
I don't, realistically, man, I've already said it. Biden, Trump, I'll skip that race. I'll focus on Senate and Congress. I have no use for that particular ballot. I'm not doing it. You can say whatever you want to say. If you don't vote for Biden, that's a vote for Trump. Well, I ain't voting for neither one of them. So y'all vote for who you want to vote for. And it ain't my Black responsibility to get out somebody that you white folks put in there.
So let's transition to Trump just for a second. A lot of people have said that they believe Trump has possibly blown his chance at the presidency just due to some of the things that he's done over the last week or so. Yesterday, when he said he was going to sick, if you will, the military on the American people, basically some control, law and order needs to be brought to the nation by any means necessary. Then, of course, couple days before that, he said if there's looting, there will be shooting, which is considered a very racist slur that was said by the KKK and things like that. So a lot of people are saying that if he had a chance at the presidency, he probably doesn't anymore, in addition to all of the coronavirus stuff that a lot of people said was his fault. What are your thoughts about that?
Whoever you're going to vote for, you've already made your mind up. You're going to vote for whoever you want to vote for. And either way, you might want to go get some grease either way. Because when they put it to you, it's going to hurt. Black people ain't getting nothing out the deal. We don't have a representation to go and get nothing out the deal. You see what I'm saying? They can wheel and deal and make anything happen, but they can't seem to make nothing happen for us, and they black representing us. I'm not trying to hear it no more. I'm not finna keep blaming my black problems on white politicians. I'm gonna blame it on the black ones that represent me. So I don't know if he's blown his shot. I mean, anything that Trump do right now, anything that Trump say right now, they want to hold it against him. They want to do this, but you won't hold Biden to the same degree. So it is what it is. Joe Biden don't give a damn about black people being killed by the cops, because if he did in 1994, he wouldn't have did the crime bill, which is still a byproduct of what we dealing with right now. That's why them cops on the loose right now. So if y'all want to be mad about something, why don't you go get your man and tell him what you wrote in 94 is the reason these laws is out here killing us till this day. You tell him. Maybe I don't get it.
And so Arlene says, if you don't vote, please don't voice your opinion.
I'm going to voice my opinion whenever I get ready. I can say whatever I want. If you want to go suck that white man's ass who ain't going to do shit for you, that's your business. I'm not doing it. And I'm going to be as vocal as I need to be. The lesser of two evils? So I get to pick between a devil and a devil? Man, please.
And I agree with you, Arlene. I mean, I think that argument is really baseless at this point, to say that if I don't vote, I can't voice my opinion. Sure, I can. First of all, we live in a democracy where I can do that, right? Freedom of speech and all of that. But as Gary said, why should we be forced to choose between two evils? And I'm going to read you something that
hold on a second. And then you can jump in, because I don't want to let this go too far. Charles Francisco says things change. That's 20 years or more ago. Okay, well, they was hanging black people 463 years ago, and they still hanging them till this day. They was raping black women 463 years ago. They still raping them till this day. They was separating black families 463 years ago, and they still doing it till this day. Ma'am, do you want to have this conversation?
Well, like you said, I mean, yeah, you said 20 years ago, but black people are still suffering the effects of the things that were done 20 years ago, right? And I want to read this quote, or this tweet rather, by Shaun King. And Gary, I know you're not really fond of Shaun King, but he made a lot of sense, where he says, Barack Obama is the master of calmly, coolly, smoothly looking you in the face, right in your eyes, and telling you he feels your pain, hopes for an investigation, then oversees a system that doesn't prosecute a single police officer in 8 years. So he's saying that Obama didn't, there were no prosecutions of police officers in Obama's whole presidency. And we know, too, that Obama wrote some legislation that was really police friendly, right? And we also know that police brutality of black people went up during the Obama administration. The reason I say all of that is because Biden sat right next to him. He was his right-hand man while all of these things took place in that administration. And so for those of you guys who were saying, "Oh, that was 20 years ago. Oh, we should forgive and forget. Oh, Joe Biden."
Let me give a checkup from the neck up real quick, because I'm so serious about this. I want to show you this comment. I gotta go. This is comedy. This is bullshit. Go sit your young ass down somewhere, little old boy. Go sit your young ass down somewhere, man. You still got Similac behind your ears, homeboy.
Put it back up.
I'm gonna put it back up for you. This the comment. I gotta go. This is comedy. If you don't vote, it's an automatic win for Trump. Good night and goodbye. Get the bye.
Well, again,
when we get old enough to buy him a 6-pack of beer, we can have a conversation.
Well, if that's even him, but let's assume it's him because it's his profile picture, whatever. I mean, he's only going off of his parents and his grandparents, but clearly he doesn't know all there is to know about Joe Biden. I mean, but again, he's probably under the assumption that because he sat under the Obama administration, he's a good guy, this, that, and the other. But I forget his name, but go do your research. But you're calling this a comedy show. But what's going to be more funny is when you get somebody like Joe Biden in office again, and he does to you what he did to so many other black people when he was writing crime bills, and when he was tough on crime, which means tough on black people. And you could probably won't have to look very far into your own family and find out that there's family members that have been affected by the laws that Joe Biden was the author of and was proud to author those bills. So you go do your research.
They kicking it with the enemy, like I said. Art Acevedo. I really got to pick on him tonight. You marched for my man, Big Floyd. Did you march for the Latino brother your people shot 17 times? Why you wasn't in the front of the parade for that one? Why you wasn't in the front of the parade for my gospel singer, homeboy? Why you wasn't in the front of the parade? See, this is just a big moment. You got more than enough dead bodies on the streets of Houston in the last 7 weeks that your feet should look like Kunta. You should be walking around with one leg, and they should be calling you Toby Acevedo. You can march every day in Houston, homeboy. This all a game. But just less than an hour ago, oh nigga, what you gonna say? Y'all singing and loving them. And an hour later, you think you in Beirut over by the George R. Brown.
Well,
they dumb, man.
The other thing about us, I think, as black people, and it's unfortunate, is that we love a good sermon. We love when somebody get to preaching. And from what I saw of Chief Acevedo, the little bit that I did see when he, had the audience's attention, the crowd, he was, talking tough and walking tall about what he's not going to stand for and all this other stuff. And I'm like, to your point, wasn't his guys responsible for murdering people within the last couple of weeks? Now all of a sudden you done turned over a new leaf. But again, we fall for that. All we got to do is do a lot of hooping and hollering, and we just go along with it. But it's like, what is actually being said within all that hooping and hollering? Do we actually look at people's works, or do we just listen to the nonsense that they spew?
Well, here's some nonsense I'm gonna spew. On June 7th, Art Acevedo gonna be on this screen with us. I'm telling you right now, Chief, I ain't giving you no passes. Either show up and be the man that you're supposed to be, or be the coward and duck me. Because I got some tough questions for you, homeboy. I got some tough questions for you. Work with you. Get out, do whatever y'all ask me to do. But I ain't feeling some of this right now, man. I'm just not feeling it. To me, it's disrespectful. We can't have no movement because we selling out before we even start the movement. Man, and another thing, stop trusting all these so-called activists. Where do you come from? I'm going to just speak on Houston because that's where I'm from. Where all y'all come from? I ain't never seen a bunch of y'all at City Hall. I ain't seen a bunch of y'all at the school board meetings. You're not members of the NAACP. Is you in the Urban League? Where y'all come from? You must have came from the Bat Cave. All you people around here faking me.
Photo ops. They're all Mr. and Mrs. Congeniality. Everybody wants to get in front of the camera and be seen and heard. And, oh, you sound so good. But to your point, where have you been? I mean, you out there in the trenches, especially in Houston, and you said you've never seen or heard of a lot of these people. So it's like, where have you been? And that's true for a lot of people who are running for election. Donovan calls them, Johnny come latelys. It's like, wow, we haven't seen or heard from you in the last 4 years. And all of a sudden, here you are. Now, what brings you out? And it's obviously a photo op, and people want to, be the one that have the sound bite and all this other nonsense. But we keep going.
I can honestly tell you that I went to a community event about maybe 3 months ago, right before the pandemic, in regards to those 2 white people that were murdered on Harding Street. I'm the only activist in the building. Where they come from? Most of them, they wait until a big story pop, and then they show up like they care about police brutality, like they care about gun violence. I'm the one down there at City Hall checking them people. I'm the one down there arguing with Jared Davis live on video, fighting to get things in the hood so we can slow down this violence. Where all you people at, man? But you get in front of 60,000 people and act like you're doing the work. Y'all ain't doing no work. Y'all need to share this video, because 90% of them people that stood on that stage today, they don't do the work.
Somebody wants us to know that Joel Osteen was out there today. He was marching.
Big stories, they're gonna show up. So Joel, can I go back a couple of years, Joel, and ask you, when little Romeo, the little 5-year-old boy, was shot in Kings Row with an AK-47? Joel, could we get a couple of gifts for him for Christmas? And your people ain't even hit us back. The hell with Joel Osteen.
I agree, and especially with the whole when you guys had Hurricane Harvey out there and everything flooded, and he wouldn't open the doors of the church, just lied on top of lies. Anyway, Houston Kid says a question: will this movement stop a day, a week, a month from now? How long will this last?
Soon as the Gucci store open back up, is over. Soon as they can go back to shaking their ass 100% instead of 25% in the club, it's over. It's over. Everything that Sheila said up there, we're fighting for education, we're fighting for justice reform. Well, you must be fighting behind a curtain. Because I fight for education every month. I ain't seen you come up in no school board meeting, Congress lady, and I got love for you. Where you been? When y'all start doing this, you know what? I think I'm having an out-of-body experience. Maybe I came out my body and I was in a whole nother state and I just missed it. But I could have swore I ain't missed a school board meeting in 8 years. And our school system is 100 times worse than what it was when I started. They murdering more people at a higher rate with police officers 8 years after I started. So who really doing the work? They hijacking this movement. That's what they doing.
And we are allowing them to do that. Again, falling for the banana in the tailpipe. But I would say this movement has actually gone farther than a lot of movements have. We've seen people, Black people, be murdered by the police, and people might do a little something here and there, but this one has actually gone on quite a bit, and it would really be a shame for it to get this far. About a week in now at this point, to get this far and allow, the opposition, if you will, to hijack it. I mean, and that's all it is. It's a strategy. Let's pretend like we on their side. Let's talk with them. And then, because they know how we get down, they'll, melt like putty, and then, they'll forgive us, and, we'll get them to calm down until we mow one of them down again. And maybe next time they won't be as mad because there'll be nothing else. It's just the same old, same old.
Well, when you look at what we have to show for what we got since the civil rights movement, we haven't gotten anything, thanks to our Democratic friends. I don't care what they say. I don't care how many sack lunches you passing out right now because of the COVID. That does not impress me. Your body of work tells me everything I need to know. And my hood ain't changed since I came to Minnesota. It still do not have decent roads to ride on. We still do not have grocery stores. We still have failing schools. The cops is beating the hell out of us every night and killing us in our own neighborhoods. And this ain't 6 years ago. This 6 weeks ago. This been going on, and it gonna keep going on as long as we got them suckers down there playing them games.
And that kind of goes into T Lady's comment. She says, every time y'all mention Joel Osteen's name, you're giving him too much credit, and he don't give a damn about Black people. He think we are some of the nastiest, dirtiest, low-down people. Well, if that's the case, then why do we keep inviting him to stuff? If that's how he thinks about this and us, and we know that, why do we keep inviting him to speak?
Because it looks good. You talking about Biden, right? Osteen. Well, first of all, when Joel Osteen can do like Jesus would do and come off his cross over there at his big old church and walk through South Park with me, I'll show you some love. I don't respect him, don't care nothing about him. I don't care who gets mad. You have to understand that I take this so serious. I need you to understand what's going on. You 60,000 deep over there. I'm 1 deep in the state of Minnesota. Let them know they got 60,000 voices that's screaming for him right now. But I got love for the 60,000, not the politicians who trying to hijack the movement, who need the microphone right now because you feel like you're going to get dog walked in November. So you're going to use this as a means to do the campaigning that you ain't been able to do. That's why politics kept coming up today. And I asked myself, is this a protest rally, or is this the Democratic National Convention?
And Crystal, you want to know where Quanell X is? We covered that yesterday. But why do you want to know where he is? I mean, I'm just asking, why do you want to know where he is? Are you looking for him for a specific reason? Is there something you want him to do? I mean, why are you looking for him? Just out of curiosity. But, I totally agree. I mean, I don't know. I just think we need to stop falling for the okie doke eventually.
You got a dude, and I know it's a fake page, and I'm going to address you. Joel Osteen loves his Black members. Well, brother, when Harvey came through, then some of his Black members needed to get in the church. Did he love them enough to open the door without being exposed on social media? And I'll be all the bums you want me to be. Your mama a bum. Clown.
Well, I think he does love Black people. He let Kanye come up in there, didn't he, and have a concert?
all that there, that's just what it do. You see what I'm saying? It is what it is. I don't care nothing about Joel Osteen. Don't give a damn what Joel Osteen do. But I tell you this here, when it comes to police brutality, Joel Osteen ain't no better than the mega Negro pastors who ain't said nothing either.
Yeah, James is a troll. I believe he's a troll. We should not respond to him. It definitely looks like a fake account. But yeah, so let me ask you, in your opinion, how do we keep this this movement, if you will, going in the right direction? When I say the right direction of actually getting something done, a bang for our buck, not letting all this be in vain, because there's a lot of people out there who have been shot by rubber bullets, who have lost their eyes. I'm assuming some people have died. Thousands of people have gone to jail, you know, for mostly I say, fighting for justice. And so how do we, you know, really capitalize on that so it doesn't go by the wayside?
To Tamara Mowry, is that her name? The young lady that was at the protest today spoke so profound. Shaun King. You see what I'm saying? The way you keep this going, you go back to your neck of the woods. You organize your people because they're not organized. You can't come to Houston and organize us because your people are not organized. And if you're going to do this, then here's the thing. You want me to tell you how to make it happen, Demetra? What we got to do to make it happen? They need to be downtown Houston every single day. Shut it down. If you want it to happen, you got to do it every single day. The Montgomery bus boycotts was 381 days in a row. You ain't got to go 8 days right now if you shut it down. You ain't got to throw no rocks or no bricks at no police. Just don't spend your money. When you take your money out the equation, game over. Protest every day. See, the key to protesting is clearly understanding that you got to make somebody uncomfortable just like you are. That's why I love this out here, because they'll protest at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. The average Negro, oh man, I'm going to the club. I'm just be coming out the club. I'm going to the after hours. You got to be out your mind, man. I'm going to the naked. But that's what it takes. These people are devoted. They go see, and the thing is the worst thing that can happen is the whole country rocking with Minnesota. If the whole country go back to doing what they do and leave them by themselves, game over. George dies in vain. Just that simple.
And I agree. I don't think that we should let up. I think people really should stay out there and until we get what we're looking for. If you can't go out there every day, go out there, you know, 1 day a week on your day off for an hour. Just put, like, they need more bodies out there. And admittedly, I can't be out there every day, but I'm going to try my best to be out there at least once or twice. I went this last weekend. Go ahead.
I had to tell my people today, man, that I love Houston, but I'm doing this big right now. I'm doing some things, and you know, I can't even go into it. You know, you kind of know on the back end, you know, but I can't discuss this with y'all. So I got to leave here, take a quick break, and then I got to go up to Oklahoma City. Just see, you don't stop this. You do this every day. So if you're a husband and a wife team, husband, you go on Monday, wife, you go on Tuesday. Husband, you go on Wednesday, wife, you go on Thursday. Husband, you go on Friday, kids, you take the weekend. But it's got to be consistent. You apply maximum pressure. I'm gonna tell you now, you kill more bees with, you get more bees with what?
Honey.
If you really want to make Trump mad, don't throw no more bricks. Hide your money.
Yep. And speaking There's this national boycott, I guess that's supposed to be taking place that T.I. called for, and it's supposed to take place.
I'm not supporting it.
Let me finish. T.I. called for on July 7th. July 7th is supposed to be the boycott. But as we discussed before, it's really not going to make any sense because we know, and it's just the fact, y'all get mad at me if you want to, most Negroes gonna be out there July 4th. Y'all gonna have on all red, white, blue. Y'all gonna have all the barbecue, this, that, and the other. You're gonna spend a whole host of a bunch of money on these parties and stuff. All your money gonna be gone by July 7th.
Why didn't he call a boycott for July 4th? See, I'm not gonna support it because he's only calling for it for one day. I ain't got time to play with you, T.I. You the king of the South. Love you to death, homie. Been rocking with you since trap music, bruh. But you call it for one day? Negro, don't waste my time.
And I'm not saying, that he has something, devious behind it, but it doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, like, you guys really think about it. Why would you have a financial economic boycott from Black people on July 7th after the holiday? We know we go all out when we really shouldn't because we weren't free on July 4th, 1776. We know that. But why call it for after the holiday? Why not start it on Juneteenth, June 19th, when we were all technically kind of free? Out of symbolism and all that, because most people are going to start shopping somewhere in between. I mean, I'm just saying it's not well thought out at all. So it makes you wonder what's really going on. And to your point, why just for a day? Ain't nobody gonna have no money that day, no way.
July 7th is of what significance? You have a problem as an African American with the United States of America. You have a problem with them. You have a problem with your president of the United States of America. So why did you not call it on the 7th? I'm gonna explain it to you right now. Hold on, let me get a piece of bread. I'm going to show you better than I could tell you. Hold on. And I'm going to show you exactly why he didn't call it on the 7th. Who was the only leader that was bold enough to call one on July 4th? You know who that was?
Farrakhan?
Say his name again?
Farrakhan.
Because we have a problem with who? The United States of America.
Everybody.
So you call it, and the reason that T.I. didn't call it on the 4th is because Farrakhan's balls are this big. And you could go sit your monkey ass down somewhere, little boy. That's why you didn't call it on the 4th. You ain't had a heart to call it on the 4th.
But again, the other question becomes, when did he become our leader? Like, okay, for example.
I don't know, maybe when he whooped Lil Flip.
This is like, check this out. Have you heard about the blackout that was supposed to be taking place today?
You see how that worked.
Right. And so the blackout today was supposed to be, I guess, everybody Black, I guess, and people who are down with, I don't even remember or know what, because it's all over the place.
You have to question your Negro leaders, and I think you need to watch. You moms have always taught us kids, you watch who you hang around. You see what I'm saying? Because sooner or later, you're going to pick up some of their habits. When you are married to a woman who hangs around with a girl that had a problem with folks robbing the Gucci store, I'm not finna listen to nothing you talking about, dude. Because you live in the same house with that foolishness. You live in the same house with that foolishness. And whoever decided to make him our leadership got to be crazy. You might speak them big words, got mad love for you, love your music, but some things you need to stay on the opposite side of the line with, bro.
Yeah, like you said, we need to get to a point to where we do question those things. Like today, the blackout thing today, somebody made a really good point. Why are we not going to post, especially during this time? People need information. People need to hear what we're doing and what the next move is. You know, how do we know who's really behind this? Don't say nothing today. Maybe it would take one day for the momentum to die if everybody stopped posting. I agree to stop posting nonsense. But if you're posting something that's conducive to what's going on, yeah, I think you should post. So me personally, I didn't get involved in that. I'm like, y'all can black your screen out and whatever it is you're supposed to be doing. But as for me, if I got something to say, I'm going to say it.
But I'm going to say this here, that Houston Kid asked me, Mr. Monroe, will you speak at the funeral of Mr. George Floyd?
Battery is low.
No, in actuality, because his funeral is on the same day that Keenan Jeremiah Green's funeral is on. And Keenan was murdered at a house party. So I'll let all the dignitaries go to the Dog and Pony Show, and I'm going to take it to the hood and light the church up as only I can. I'm going to give the words, because I stood next to Keenan at a voting poll back in January and February. I worked with this youngster out there. Matter of fact, if something popped up out there and I'm the only one that could calm him down, I'd rather go to the hood and kick it with my people than some self-righteous politicians that don't know a damn thing about the dude that's going to be laying in the casket that they talking about.
I mean, yeah, I agree with you. It is sad because whether the family wants them there or not, they have allowed people who don't give a damn to hijack everything regarding George Floyd. Everything. And, you know, with Joe Biden being there, he's got to have Secret Service. It's just going to... If I was Joe Biden, I wouldn't even want to go. But, you know, he's going to go because it's a political opportunity for him. If he's at the, you know, one of the most highly profiled cases, if you will, this far, it's going to be a good political opportunity for him. So, yeah, I mean, I really agree that it's a shame that they've allowed these political people, if you will, to hijack everything, or they're trying to, everything that's going on. But the bigger shame would be is if we keep falling for it and we keep allowing them to do that, right? And I agree with you. You should go to Keenan's funeral. You should. Not to say that, you know, you didn't care as much about George, but you know what's going to be there at George's funeral. It's going to be just a circus, if you will. Everybody's going to try to outdo everybody. I mean, it's just, I don't know.
I could really speak on some things with that, but I ain't. I'm going to let my man rest. But I tell you what, man, God is going to make sure that George is okay. Because it's a lot of people speaking for him right now that didn't know a damn thing about him.
But that's usually how it is, though. You know, we like all the glamour and, you know, all the photo ops. It's just crazy to me. And I'm hoping that none of it, you know, the real cause of we need to fight this, you know, police brutality, I hope none of that gets lost. I hope when this is all said.
What I want to do is I'm finna block a few people because this is our program and we can talk about whatever we want. So at the end of the day, Lena Bina, I'll let you, baby.
Don't block me.
Man, blocked. I don't want to hear nothing some days because it's too personal to me. It's too personal to me. So no, I'm not gonna do the Dog and Pony Show. I'm gonna go to Keenan's funeral. And I think both of them will have grand funerals. You know, I think you'll have people there that have a genuine spirit of love for both of these young men. You feel what I'm saying? But that's just how I am. I don't like kicking it with them politicians like that.
Well, what's going to happen? You know, it's going to be a bunch of nonsense and a bunch of people trying to outshine everybody.
Well, you know, that's normally what they do. They normally try to outshine everybody and make themselves look good.
Powering off.
But me,
a bunch of nonsense and a bunch of People trying to
Hold on.
outshine everybody.
But me, I'm not like that. I'm as real as it gets. What you see is what you get. 99.9% of the time. So like I said, it's just y'all that don't get it is very disrespectful. So I want you to know I've done it years ago. My funeral is already ready. You won't have no big gospel singers there. You're going to have one song played at my funeral from the time you walk in to the time you walk out. Frank Sinatra, I did it my way. That's what I want played at my funeral. I don't need a whole bunch of talking. Just hurry up and get this over and get me in the ground. So you can go back to doing what you need to do. You feel what I'm saying? But this fight for George, it doesn't work like that with him. We got work to do, man. And those that have to do the work, you people out there with them games, you make our jobs hard, man. You make our jobs hard. It's hard being an activist and an advocate some days.
And I agree. And I would just say, you know what, for those of you guys who are in this thing for real, don't stop. Don't get distracted, because that's how they always get us. We get distracted and then we just, forget about it and until the next one happens. But we are in a good position if we just keep fighting so that the next one won't happen, or it won't happen as often, because now you got these, these mayors are starting to hold these police officers and these police departments accountable when they weren't a week ago. As I said, the mayor of Atlanta, she charged all 6 of those officers, but that wasn't that. I mean, that's rare. You know what I mean? And as I said earlier, the state of Minnesota is suing the police department of Minneapolis. They want to subpoena their records 10 years back to see. Basically, and we know that they do, right? But if they have a pattern of police misconduct, so things are changing. But we can't, give in because a police officer takes a knee every now and again, or they give a nice little speech, and it's a little bit too late for that. There's a lot of people who won't come back, regardless of what speech you made, due to you not being able to correctly man your police department and allowing them to brutalize Black people.
Let me tell you something, mama. If they had any respect for George Floyd, then how the barbecue man get killed in Louisville 2 days ago? Do y'all really think this gonna stop? We going through this here, the country is riding, and they killed the barbecue man in Louisville? Come on, bruh. You 6 cops snatching kids out of cars? Do you really think this gonna stop? And not today, you kumbayaing with them. See, y'all the ones that got us tricked on them slave ships. Y'all the ones got us caught up in them jungles and had them people grab us. Because you thought they was cool. When they first came there, ain't bother you. They just scoped it out. And you thought they was cool. Come on, bruh. Any respect for George Floyd? How the barbecue man get killed in Louisville, man? This gonna keep going on.
And even, a lot of the protesters, they're getting shot with these rubber bullets, and they're not shooting them in the leg as much. They're shooting them right in the face. Saw a picture of a Black lady with a rubber bullet stuck in the middle of her forehead, and she's going to lose her eye because they say those rubber bullets actually rupture the eyeball. And there's a few people who have had that happen to. And Joe Biden made a comment saying, well, why can't they just shoot him in the leg? Well, why are you shooting at them in the first place? They're out there protesting. Most people are. They're out there.
You know why you shooting at them? Because they won't shoot back. I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where they shooting back. Why they ain't talking about they shooting at them no more? They started busting back.
Well, maybe that's why they started taking the knee with them then. They heard they was getting saw them bullets coming back at them. It's like, okay, we better take a knee with them.
Well, I say this here, man. I'm not getting on no knee with them right now. Getting on a knee with them is the equivalent of Jerry Jones taking a knee with his Dallas Cowboys in the middle of the field. It's a joke. It's a joke. And that's how I feel. If you want to fix this problem, go up into them Texas legislations, all them legislations throughout the country, and change these laws. Now, you notice in Chicago, did you see the video where the man stole a horse? Did you see that where they stole a horse in Chicago?
And
he was riding the horse down the street doing
Is it the one where the lady got trampled?
No, actually, see, you don't know. They were looting and somebody stole a police horse. Now, I want you to understand something about changing laws. Don't you know, young man, if you was in the state of Texas, on the law books right now, it says they could hang you. That is still a law in the state of Texas. If you steal a man's horse, they can hang you.
Wow.
So if you want to fix this, make them Negroes and them Democrats go up there to Austin and change these laws. Make them go up there and do an addendum to the Sandra Bland Act. Give us what we asked for at first. See, we got to clearly understand what's going on here. And those that's on here in amazement by what I just said about that horse, you need to educate yourself on this, man. They got laws on the books right now that were there in slavery. Mm-hmm. And them Negroes that represent us know it. So I ain't finna be mad at the white man who won't never bring it up. I'm mad at the Negro that know it and won't do nothing about it.
And you know what? We, as Black people, are actually in a really good time now. It's election season. There's a whole lot of stuff going on, and we actually got the ball in our court. But if we give up now, we'll never see change. A lot of these politicians are up for re-election. Hold their feet to the fire. So a lot of times when you hear Gary, myself, and Donovan say that we're not voting for the lesser of two evils, we're not advocating that you vote for Trump, and we're not advocating that you vote for Biden. We're just saying get something for the vote. Whoever it is, if they're actually going to help move the ball for Black people, great. But we can get everything we need if we stay on the same page.
Well, Patrick Hutto said, I will be the white man that brings it up. It's wrong. Changes need to be made. Now, Pat, you've been my friend for a while, Pat, good white dude, and I want to check you right now. I don't need you to bring it up now. I question why you didn't bring it up early. You've been knowing it was messed up. You've been knowing they were beating us and killing us. You've been knowing that we needed justice reform. So all I'm asking, brother, why now? We needed it 5 years ago. We needed it 10 years ago. We needed it 20 years ago. We needed it 40 years ago. Why ain't nobody opened their mouth until this boy got killed? So what happens if George never dies? You become the target.
And you know what I would say too? I just think that for a lot of white people, Asians, Hispanics, whatever, I think now, like as I said earlier, their eyes are being forced open. They're really seeing, because if it ain't me, then it doesn't register to me, right? If it's not happening to me or my people, then I don't really understand what you're talking about as much. But when you see it to that degree, see that police officer kneeling on that man's neck for damn near 10 minutes and grinning and getting off on it.
Well, let me ask you a question. What's the difference from that white man having his knee on George's neck and the white man having his foot on the Black man's neck for 463 years?
It's very symbolic. Very symbolic, and I don't believe that metaphor analogy is a coincidence. I think it's a perfect analogy of what has been going on. But you know, the other night, I couldn't sleep for some reason. It happens sometimes. And I was thinking, you know what? We as Black people should have rolled on massa after slavery for what they did to us. But we didn't for whatever reason. And so here we are in 2020. You know, I don't know if this is what you call us riding on them per se, but I just feel like what took us so long? I mean, I get it, all the oppression, systemic and institutional racism. I get all of that, but, you know.
If they want to make a statement, get on a bus, get on a train, get on a plane. And when it's time for the grand jury, there should be no hotel rooms available in the state of Minnesota. Get your ass down here. So let's stop playing with this, man. Because if we don't do what we supposed to, you get and since you said T.I., that's cool. You know, you get one shot at greatness. And like T.I. say, what you gonna do with a second chance? You gonna blow it. You get one shot. Supposed to be down here. You supposed to be down here. We need to turn. You remember the iconic speech that King gave? The I Have a Dream speech. That's what the state capital of Minnesota should be when it's time to go to the grand jury. You don't need to do it in your city. Empty your city and get down here. Nobody, all them people that live in Washington when King gave that speech, they migrated to Washington. You need to migrate to Minnesota.
And I agree with you. There's power in numbers. I don't know if you guys heard the other day that Trump actually, his family, and I guess whoever is important in the White House, they actually had to take to the bunker, you know, because the people had him on the run. And so to me, that speaks volumes. You know, like the white, I thought, like, could a terrorist make him do any of that? Like, get that close to the White House? And so these people seized on the White House and had him running for cover like he was afraid. And so imagine if everybody did that more often. You see other governments rising up in other nations, right? And not governments, but the people rising up against governments, because it is for the people. We are supposed to be the ones that's getting served. It's not supposed to be the other way around. And so just think about having Trump on the run enough to go to the bunker. We need to be doing that every day. There is an injustice, regardless of wherever it is. But I agree with you. When the grand jury is being seated and all of that, people need to show up in record numbers and let them know we're going to tear this motherfucker up, whether it's, you know, for real or whatever. If this goes the wrong way, you guys need to make the right decision. No more are you you're no longer going to murder Black people and get away with it. That day is over with.
Tamara Mowry said it today when she spoke. She said, some of us got to go to jail. Mm-hmm. Some of us gonna have to die. Bruh, if you don't believe that's what it's gonna take, then we wasting our time. Mr. Monroe, are you scared to die? I got to die something anyway. That's why I keep eating. Well, man, you gonna end up having a heart attack. You're obese. Well, I won't die hungry. I don't care. Stop being afraid to fight for your legacy. You're not fighting for you when you're this age. You're fighting for your legacy, which is your children and your grandkids, man. I'm trying to make it better for the kids. I'm gonna leave here, bruh. I'm trying to make it better for my grandkids so they don't have to go through this foolishness, man. Right now, they babies, man. I'm putting the work in for them. So they ain't gotta go through this here, man. It is what it is, man.
And imagine if the people before us would have did it for us. We wouldn't be here. So I agree with you. As they say, freedom is not free. It's gonna cost somebody something. The unfortunate part is we don't want it to. I want it to be me, but I want it to be somebody else. And if not you, then who? What if Gary didn't? What if Gary said, well, I ain't going to do it. I'm going to wait for somebody else to do it. Then who would do it?
Houston kids say, fighting for your country. No, I ain't. I'm still under the 3/5 of a man law. That's the way that I feel, because you have to renew the voting right every 25 years. I feel like I'm still under the 3/5 of a man law. This ain't my country. I just happened to show up here in 1968. My mom and daddy were doing something that grown folk were doing, and I showed up here in 1968. But ever since I've shown up, there's not a day that I can remember where I totally felt like this was my country. Because I'm constantly reminded, you black, you can't do what they can do. Well, if that's the case, I'm a man without a country. Because realistically, yeah, they'll tell me you can go back to Africa. But I was born here. I'm a man without a country. Never felt like this was mine, man. And that's one reason when I got out of school, I refused to go to the military. I'm not fighting for a country that's not going to treat me right, man. I'm not doing it. So I got to go out there and lay my life on the line and then come back here if I come back and you treat me like garbage? Not Monroe. I ain't doing it.
And that was my father. When he was drafted to go to the Vietnam War, he by then was in the Nation of Islam. And they actually labeled him as psychotic because he told them, why would I go fight for a country that's done nothing to me and have to come back to a country that will call me a nigga the minute I get off the boat or whatever it is you're trying to send me out on? I'm not viewed. I don't have any rights over here. So why am I going to go fight for you? He had to tell the psychologist 5 times. They sent him in and out of the office. And they finally said, you know what? Get out of here. Because, he could have faced 5 years, but they rather just label him as crazy. He says, I'm not crazy, but I'm not going to die for something I have no rights to die for. And here we are still in 2020. And I know a lot of people have gone to the military and all of that, but I'm with you on that. This, until we have freedom, justice, and equality, this is not our country.
This country was built not just on the back of slaves and immigrants. This is a country that was built on murder, mayhem, stealing, robbing, everything that they did. You see what I'm saying? So now you got these youngsters out here stealing and robbing, and you want to put the military on them? How did you even end up with this country? You stole it from somebody. I don't respect that. And I know I'll probably never in my lifetime get an opportunity to speak face to face with Donald Trump. But I would look him in his eye and tell him, you are the problem. You are the problem. Not because you're a racist, but because you're ignorant. It's a big difference. And I think that a lot of white people are just not tired of his racism. They're tired of his ignorance. He makes them look horrible. But what do you expect from a real estate agent?
Yeah, I mean, well, that's on their fault too. When I say they, the MAGA crowd, he gave them exactly what they wanted. And that was, fuel on the racism that they already had. But I agree with you. I think a lot of people, including a lot of the MAGA crowd, white people, whoever, are starting to say, okay, I'm hoping though, at some point in time, we can't keep going along with this because it's just ridiculous at this point.
But it didn't take Trump to show up for him to really show us, because wasn't they shooting up schools before Trump came?
And that's what I'm saying. Forrest, he just put fuel on it. It was already there. It wasn't something that showed up because he did. It was already there. He dragged meat to his base, and they ate it up, and they're still eating it up. But it has to come a point in time we have to say, you know what? This dude has pulled the wool over everybody's eyes. He don't give a damn about nobody. He only gives a damn about making money, and that's it.
Well, I mean, he gonna make money for the rest of his life because he'll forever get a pension. For you think about it, we gotta work 25, 30 years to get a pension. If Trump come out of there now, he worked 4 years and will get a pension the rest of his life. We need some people to go change some legislation. Because that makes no sense. I'm being honest with you, man. 4 years and you get a pension the rest of your life? And that ain't about Trump. That's about that whole system. You see what I'm saying?
Get it.
Hold on. Wayne Delacefino made a comment. Hey, guys, why can't we hate what happened, but also want someone to restore law and order in ways liberal mayors aren't? Let's get past the liberal mayors, Wayne. Let's just get to the root cause of the problem. With all this still going on, did a liberal mayor have anything to do with them people killing the barbecue man in Louisville while we dealing with this? No. This is a problem. And this problem is not going to go away just because you call in the National Guard to restore order. Now, I want you to understand, you're a smart man. I learned a lot from you. Insurance is powerful because the insurance that Target has on their store will replace anything that was stolen out that store. Am I right, Demetri? But the insurance that George Floyd's family had on him cannot make George Floyd come back. No, we need to solve the problem. And now that we got everybody's attention, yeah, we stop, the kids stop doing what they doing. I don't hear nobody saying they gonna solve the problem. We can't wait 6, 7 months. We can't wait 3, 4 years for them to stop killing African Americans. They're doing it at an alarming pace. It has to stop now. But if it don't stop, the only thing I can tell people, if you don't want them looting, if you don't want them robbing, if you don't want them busting windows, and last but not least, if you don't want them to come to the suburbs, stop killing black people. You're not murdering the Latinos like that. You're not murdering the whites like that. And you've gotten to a point that you've murdered our kids, Tamir Rice. You've murdered our women, Sandra Bland. You've murdered our men, George Floyd. Everybody is a target. So I'm sorry. If they need to replace their TVs, if they need to restore law and order, think about what you did to even get it to this point.
Well, I would also ask, do we really want to restore? Do we really want to restore that law and order? The law and order that we had, a week ago? Is that what we're trying to go back to? Because that wasn't really law and order. It was law and order really for the benefit of certain people in society. It wasn't law and order for black people. It was pure hell and terror for black people. So I don't know if I would want to go back to that. I don't know if I'd want to restore that type of law and order.
Let's look at it like this. What if Floyd was on that ground and that man had his knee on his neck and the other two was holding him and they were killing him, right? What happens if I walk up and blow the brains out the cop head with his knee on Floyd? Who'd have went to jail?
Immediately.
Who'd have went to jail?
You would have went immediately.
Exactly. Address the problems. None of this would be going on if they'd have just went to jail. So here's the thing. If you're not going to send them to jail, then you win this argument. But if you come back now and you send them, you did this to yourself. Because you should have did it at the beginning. This never had to happen.
I mean, I know it's a little bit of feedback, you guys, but it's weird. Anyway, yeah, I mean, but again, look at the police officer. I mean, he sat on top of his neck. Like, who gonna check me? Anybody
I'm
gonna
gonna be honest with you. If I was there, I'd have slapped the hell out the Asian one and pushed him off the other one. I'd have pushed him off that man. I might have lost my life that day, but I wouldn't have let it went down like that.
And speaking of which, what's going on with the young lady who shot the video?
Well, they round here threatening them. But I'm gonna just say this here. The OG in town, how y'all doing? Don't start nothing, won't be nothing. It's easy for me to do what I need to do, is drink a cup of coffee and go get on a plane. That's all I'm gonna say.
What's the threats about?
I don't know what. I don't even take them serious. Let me go slow for you. The OG in town, I don't mind drinking a cup of coffee with you and going getting on my plane.
But yeah, so like I said, I don't personally want to go back to the law and order the way it was, because it wasn't beneficial to Black people. As I said, that law and order gave that police officer the balls, if you will, to sit on top of his neck. And, you know, he was comfortable. Look, he wasn't even uncomfortable doing it. He was just sitting there like he was just at a walk in the park.
Say that word again. He was what?
Comfortable.
Say it again.
Comfortable.
One more time.
Comfortable.
Criminals never get caught. They get comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
He had did it before.
And as he was sitting there, he knew he wasn't going to get in trouble for it. It's just a day at the office. I can kill this Black man in front of everybody with people yelling at me. I see a camera on me, and I'm going to get away with it. Oh, well, I wonder what he's probably thinking that. I wonder what my wife is making for dinner tonight. How much time before I'm actually done with my shift? I'm going to write it up as he was, resisting arrest, and I can normally do and go on with my life. So he was comfortable under that system of law and order.
Here's the scary part. With all the disciplinary infractions that he has on his record, how many more cops on that police force have been comfortable before? This been going on.
Well,
this ain't new down here. Go to the first video that I did the night I got here. Listen to them women say how them cops murdered their husband.
Mm-hmm.
Pulled my husband over for a stoplight and shot him 17 times. This everyday business down here.
Yep. And they said that the Minneapolis Police Department has actually had a lot of, it's bad. It's really bad in that police department. And so we never, and I'm going to keep saying that, we never need to go back to that type of law and order. Never.
Well, it's a lot of questions and conspiracy theories that are running around right now. But I think the biggest conspiracy theory there is why is it so hard for you people to stop killing Black people? You know why? Because you're comfortable. You did it before.
And not only are they doing it, their daddies have done it. The granddaddies have done it. The great granddaddies have done it. It's a legacy. It is in their blood. A lot of them, it is in their blood to be comfortable with killing Black people because they don't see Black people as humans. And as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, you cannot get civil rights until you get human rights. You asking for civil rights from a people who don't even view you as humans. Because as I said too, if he'd have did that to a dog, had that been a dog that he was kneeling on his neck, he'd already be in the electric chair without a question. Because you guys do know that it has been it's a federal crime or a hate crime now on a federal level to harm or kill animals. we're still waiting for them to pass that law for Black people. So had he done that to a dog, everybody named Mama.
So you got better legislative protection for a dog than you got for Black people. Man, can we go to final thoughts? I'm done.
My final thoughts is, you guys keep applying pressure. Keep the pressure up. Don't get fooled by these police officers kneeling with you and crying with you and hugging you and, giving you these rah-rah speeches. Don't get fooled. Don't get fooled, because that's what happens to us a lot. We get fooled and we fall in love. Oh my gosh, we're sorry. We need to forgive. We need to move on. But no, ain't no moving on. We apply pressure. And when we move on, until we get freedom, justice, and equality for Black people in America, that's when we move on. I'm not talking about no lip service from Joe Biden, who's going to show up at the funeral and give a bunch of rah-rah and a whole bunch of talking points, throw everything but the kitchen sink in there. We ain't talking about that. We're talking about some real legislative change, right? That's when we stop applying pressure, when these police officers are not comfortable with killing Black people anymore. That's when we stop and do something else.
Final thoughts. Who got more time? Who did more time? Amber Guyger or Michael Vick?
Well, to this point, it's been Michael Vick. I mean, because she might get out tomorrow. You never know.
So a dog's life is more important than an African American. I'm not finna beg you to treat me right. You're gonna treat me right. I'm not finna beg you to respect me. You're gonna respect me. White, Black, or indifferent. And if not, you're gonna read these Nikes, bro. And that's all it boils down to. I'm not begging for anything from a politician that my tax money already paid for. I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to be your partner. I don't want to take no pictures with you. I don't need you at my function. None of that. And that's what it is. That's my final words. And that's as real as it gets. But I need y'all, if you can, to help bury Keenan Jeremiah Green. Family needs some help, man. You can send whatever you can send to Cash App, $ my purple money. Good kid. So if y'all looking for me, next week, I talked to his mom yesterday, Keenan's mom, and she said, Monroe, I need you. That's all you had to say. I'm there. But I also want you to know, you notice I perked up. It's going to be at the church. And I say, the only way I do it, I got to say what I want to say. She say, you going to cuss. I say, it seemed like that's the only time I can get the gangsters in one room. So I got to say what I got to say. And that's what it is. So we ain't going to have no music to close this out, because I want you to think about what we talked about today. My girl brought the heat. She always do. You may not like what we say. I think you should like our delivery. I'm a little passionate. But at the end of the day, we ain't speaking nothing but facts and truth. That's it. If it ain't what you want to hear, watch a replay of Ellen. But it's a damn shame that more Black celebrities came out behind a kid with some dreadlocks than come out about us being murdered. This a real tough subject here to touch, especially when you get your money from the enemy. Be careful who you take money from, man. You ain't gonna never silence me. I don't want your money. You close it out, mama.
All right, then, you guys. So we will be back here tomorrow, same time. Again, if you guys have something you want us to talk about, questions, comments, or concern, please hit one of us up, myself, Gary, or Donovan. Donovan will be here tomorrow. He has something to do today. And so it is always our pleasure. And thank you for being the other side of the conversation, for we could not do this without you. And so you guys be safe and be good and keep the pressure going.